Yo, welcome everybody to the All in Our Heads podcast with me, Joe Fernandes, and our co-host, fill-in for Mike Gaffney, Mike Celona. Yeah, I
Hey,
should
what's
give
up,
some
Joe?
applause. Yeah, our trusty co-host, Mike Gaffney, is out at sea doing comedy, and we have Mike Celona in here with very choppy Wi-Fi and from Nutley, New Jersey. Yeah. We got Dave Kuhn in the chat. What's up, guys? What's up, Dave? Thanks for joining us.
What up, Dave?
What up, Dave? Yeah, we weren't gonna. I had texted Mike. I was like, okay, let's do the podcast. We'll do it at like 9:00, and then I had just one of those days where I was like, I just was stressed out, like just a totally stressed out day, and but I'm like, I'm gonna do the podcast because I want to get it done. Don't want to keep skipping weeks. And then Jersey traffic just had me like, it sucked the life out of me. It just, because what's weird is when I travel to my studio, it's south. I go south. So I'm
Opposite.
against it. I'm opposite. So every morning I fly right to the studio. And you would assume that'd be the way home. No. It's just a linear parking lot. New Jersey's just a linear parking lot that just moves slow. And then it just continues on to 78. And it sucked the life out of me. And I came home. I'm like, text him. I'm like, dude, forget it. I'm going to sleep. No podcast. Maybe we'll do it Sunday. And he's like, all right. And then the lovely lady of the house made some spaghetti and garlic bread. Went out back, smoked a little cigar. And I'm like, you know what? Let's do the podcast.
You just needed carbs. Story of my life.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little carb up. People before marathons eat carbs, but if you're gonna podcast, also a little pasta goes a long way.
Yeah, a little pasta. I for some reason this video seems a little jumpy to me. If you're in the chat and it seems a little jumpy to you, let us know, Dave. The only one in the chat.
It might be me.
It might be you. I don't know.
The signal's as slow as the traffic, but
Okay. All right. There we go. See, Mike's already starting off great. I see you got your shirt from what's that show? Schitt's Creek.
Schitt's Creek. Yeah, I'm Fat David Rose.
Fat Dave. Is that what you told people when you went trick or treating this year? Who were you? Or did you act like David Rose? Did you?
I'm a character actor. I definitely was being the part because Halloween is my favorite holiday. It makes me feel like a kid again. Everyone else, you have to like pay the bills and everything, but on Halloween, there's no rules. I don't care if you're trick or treating and you're 80. Have at it.
Yeah, it's because you like to dress up. It's your one time a year you can dress up like a girl, just be who you are.
Yeah, I identify as a trick or treater.
There you go. Can you do a little David for us? Do an impression.
Here's the thing. All of this, yuck. That's that.
That was good. Hold on, my corgi wants to leave the room. I'll be right back.
Oh, so do I. Take me with you. What am I, solo hosting now?
What?
I'm the solo host of your
Yeah, I'm sorry, people. Sorry I had to leave, but the dog was
guys.
just going to scratch my door until, until I let him out. So good to have you, Mike. Mike's got his own podcast called Mike's Mike.
Yes.
That I was a guest on this week, where I talked about my TV editing and my production career, which was...
Dude, I don't know what it is, but the numbers are phenomenal. It's one of our highest rated episodes, and I know it's not me, so you're doing a good thing. Yeah, you're doing great.
And I was talking about work. It's people are like, let me tune into what a fucking dull. Joe's talking about video editing.
Well, I was like, wait, something has to be wrong. Like I logged in.
I know, Joe. Like, nobody else does.
No, but like I just started the podcast in October. So like naturally the numbers aren't, the best. Like I'm still growing. Yeah. So like every week they're going up. And then this week I was like, wait, what? Joe Fernandes, big deal, sitting in traffic over there.
Wow. Wait till you get a real guest on. Those numbers are going to skyrocket.
David Rose sometime.
David Rose. Mike and I were on the road this past weekend. It was that was my first time on the road since 2019, like doing a weekend of shows with a hotel room and the whole comedy experience. And we were at the Church of Satire Comedy Club in Hanover, Pennsylvania. And if you live anywhere within like an hour to an hour and a half of Hanover, Pennsylvania, you need to go to this club. It is one of the best clubs I ever performed at. 50-seater. It's tight.
Yeah.
And the owners are great. It's like I really hope this club survives.
It if you live anywhere 3.5 to 4 hours, you gotta perform on it.
Yeah. 3.5 to 4 hours. Yeah. Take a trip because Hanover's got stores. Grass.
We saw a live sex show at 1 p.m.
at a hot dog place. It was very interesting. Very interesting.
Yeah, but I like that you ate from the hot dog place, and then everyone's like, you shouldn't have done that.
Yeah, how messed up was that? That's the second. You would think that the first day I get there, they'd be like, listen, okay, this is the town. This is the places to eat. This is the places to avoid. Now, this hot dog place is right across the street from the club, and it's called like Famous Hot Dogs.
World's greatest. World's greatest.
I thought it was World's Famous Hot Dogs, right?
It was something that was very misleading.
Actually, I got a picture. I got a picture I had you take of me in front of it. It's called Famous Wiener Lunch. That's exactly
which is the name of my next special. So.
And I went in there, and some of the people sitting in there look like they consistently eat hot dogs as like the main diet.
Well, you were getting a hot dog, and it was like 35 minutes. I'm like, throw the dog in the bun and let's go.
Yeah, it was a long way for a hot dog, but
Pennsylvania's slow.
I announced to the audience that I ate there, and the whole audience as a whole goes, "Oh, yeah." So it just made me paranoid the whole night, but that I was gonna like crap myself. But luckily, you were driving us home, so I didn't have to soil my car if that happened.
The worst part is like even when you stay at an Airbnb, they give you like hey, here's stuff in town.
Right.
Like I feel like this comedy club had everything, except we're not to eat.
Yeah, we struck out a lot food-wise in Hanover. We went to Dickey's Barbecue, and they gave us ribs that I can only imagine were squirrel ribs because they were so small. Like, there's no way those ribs came from any sort of, even a teenage pig. Like, it's like...
We were driving on the highway, and every 10 feet there's dead deer. Like, at least use those ribs. They were definitely like groundhog ribs.
And how do you make pulled pork dry? How do you make dry? I felt like I had like Funyuns instead of pork.
It was honestly like beef jerky. I was scooping up scoops of beef jerky and just eating it and being like, this is barbecue out here, I guess. I poured 3 different bottles of barbecue sauce on it, and it was still like shoe leather.
Yeah, I was afraid that was gonna affect me. I don't know. We didn't look, because usually when I go on the road, I like to be a food tourist. I really kind of plan out. I go to like Food Network, type in the city I'm gonna be in, but there was nothing. There was nothing that came up. So you're like, maybe we'll find a diamond in the rough. Then when you see Famous Wiener, you're like, that's pretty bold. And it's been on the building for a while, so you figure it's got to be established.
Famous for giving you diarrhea is what we didn't see the other side of the sign. Like if you walk to the other side of the building, it's famous for giving you diarrhea. Wieners.
Well, I should have known when I walked in, because like it was like a diner atmosphere. It had a counter you can eat at, a few tables, and the family, I guess, that owns it, 'cause they all kind of they look like they're angry that they have to do this.
Oh, you mean Pennsylvania? Okay.
Yeah, like they're angry that I'm ordering.
I don't know what it is.
It's not like, hey, how's it going? Welcome to Famous Wieners. What would you like? It was just like, yeah.
What do you want?
I'm like, I'll have a hot dog with sauerkraut. They're like, we don't have sauerkraut. I'm like, first, right off the bat, I should have left. I'm like, what
Whoa.
type of hot dog place doesn't have sauerkraut?
And weren't they gonna give you a hot dog and a hamburger bun?
Well, I go because they said they had the list said famous hot dogs, famous hamburger. So I was like, maybe I'll get a dog and a burger. So I go to the lady. I go, how big is your How big is your hamburger? She goes, what's in a hot dog bun? I said, I'll take a hot dog.
That's a chopped cheese.
I just like at that moment I want to be like, why did you not buy hamburger buns? Like, it's a freaking hamburger. Because all I was thinking, I didn't get to see it. The visual that came in my mind is like those tube hamburgers you see like in 7-Eleven rolling around on the hot dog thing. Did you ever see those? It's like
everything's just dry.
It's like a ground beef tube. That's what I was picturing. Oh.
Probably would have been better for your stomach.
They look like logs of shit. I don't even know how people buy them. Like they literally look like
the ones you had, or
no. The one I had actually was a regular hot dog. It was done on the skillet, which was nice. It had a good snap to it. I enjoyed it. It didn't get me. They told me I wasn't gonna get sick because I didn't get the chili on top. So I think it's the chili that's fucking people up.
Well, I think a lot of those places, the chili's just sitting there. So, like, by day 3, they're like, just stir it. You're good. Just stir the chili, and then they scoop it right on.
Yo, we got Mike Gaffney in the chat. Mike Gaffney, let me send you he has the link. He should come in with us. Let me
Typical.
see.
I'm not even needed.
No, you're needed. You're needed because he's at sea. There could be, I don't know if they have, like, real, internet service out there for streaming, but I'm going to resend him. He's probably got this same link 500 times, but I'm going to send it anyway in case he wants to pop in.
He's probably sitting at port side just smoking a bat like Rose Dawson.
Yeah.
Just never let go, Jack. Never let go.
Mike's been away from the podcast now. This is what, like 2 weeks straight, going on 3. He's been out at the sea for a while. I expect his first podcast back. I shouldn't even have to talk. Should be so many ship stories. Or like you're out there that long, I should just be like, "Hello, Mike, carry on." The connection.
If he makes it back, we've all seen Castaway and Titanic. I mean, long story short, he's going to come back $110, big beard. He's going to be talking to a volleyball. We don't know.
The connection will shit the bed in 5 seconds. Yeah, I assume that the old the sea Wi-Fi ain't going to be.
Did the bed eat the hot dog from Hanover, Pennsylvania?
Yeah, the internet ate the famous wiener dog from Hanover, Pennsylvania. So, Mike, you did this podcast I don't know, during the pandemic? Was that the last time? I know you guest hosted one time.
Yeah, I guest hosted once, and then I was just a guest once. So I think this is my third time. Third time's a charm. All the fan mail says you got to have them back.
So tell us about all you've been up to and all your celebrity encounters and your hopping career.
So
that's a great story. Sorry. I thought it was over. Now what have you been doing?
I gave Tom Hanks COVID. That's something. And then the world started to take it seriously.
Did you give it to Aaron Rodgers too?
No, we don't talk about him. He's getting canceled. We stay away from that.
Oh, okay.
I also got cast in this phenomenal web series that I'm supposed to be filming in the end of November.
What's the name of it?
I'm playing a fat guy that likes to eat with his buddy. So, I'm a method actor. So I put on 20 pounds for the role. And it's called I Don't Know Joe.
There we go. I Don't Know Joe. Hopefully coming out sometime in the
Pretty
first
big deal.
part of 2022.
I saw 2 episodes. 2 episodes were phenomenal. But they say, save the best for last, they say. Yeah. Even though I'm not the last episode.
Yeah, so your whole theory just fell apart there, right on the pocket. You tried getting all, save the best for last, but I'm not last, so.
What are you going to do? What are you going to do?
That's the character. I like this character Mike does. I wish I said you got to do it as a podcast. You do like the little whistle?
Well, it's like old Italians I know, when they give directions, like, yeah, you just stand there and hello, you're good. And you get no information from them. You're like, but all right, thank you for nothing. You just wasted everyone's time.
Well, you were doing that
That's,
all weekend, and I was dying laughing. You're like, what? I'm like, that's fucking funny, man. You should run with that. He's like, why? It's stupid.
yeah, I'll start doing the whistle on stage. Hey guys, hello.
You need a character. We got to come up with a character for you. What would we call that character? What would the name? What would the name of that character be?
Dom. It has to be Dom.
Dom what?
Dom Cacciatore.
Dom Cacciatore. And where's
Hey,
Dom?
what are you doing?
Yeah. So every time you hear Dom Cacciatore, you got to do the. So be like, say, I'm Dom Cacciatore. Whatever
Hey,
that.
I'm doing Dom Cacciatore, union plumber, 18 years. What are you doing? How's it doing? Laying pipe? Yes, yes. Long story short, what are you going to do?
So Dom, when you're laying pipe, are we talking real pipe or is this a euphemism?
No, go union or go home is what I say. Because here's the thing. One thing I'm not is a scab. Everyone knows that. What I like to do is, am I in the union to wet my beak a little bit? Of course. You wet the beak and we keep the laws going good. Look, we're keeping the street clean. We're keeping the trash out of the streets. And if I got to wet my beak a little bit, you got to do what you got to do. Here's the thing, Joe. If you were drowning and I threw you a life preserver, would you catch it? Of course you would. I mean, it answers itself. Look. If you wanted money and I said, Joe, here's a seed. You're gonna plant it, and it's a money tree. Would you plant it? Obviously. I won't.
Hey Dom, what did you think of the Many Saints of Newark?
Nungats. That's what I think. I think his son should have been shot in the toilet. To tell you that much. I won't.
Yes.
No.
Dom Cacciatore. This got to be a recurring guest.
Yes. Honestly, when it comes to that movie, like we work in television and I specifically edit like promos and trailers. I knew that it was going to be garbage by watching the trailer. I was like, ooh, they're pulling out all the stops, like all the bells and whistles. You never saw the kids say a line in the movie. There was no real dialogue. It was all just slow shots of people turning going, what? And like, yeah, it was like slow driving cars, and like they alluded to it. There's like baseball bats, Bensonhurst, New Jersey. I'm like, okay, this is whatever.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. Rumor has it that Gandolfini's son, the acting was so bad that they had to piecemeal this movie together. It's always a bad sign when they do reshoots.
I don't understand, like if my dad died, I'm not going to take over his business. But in for some reason in Hollywood, they're like, yeah, why not? Let's get this kid to be an actor and ruin his family's legacy.
Yeah.
I feel that's harsh.
Dude, did you see the movie Dune?
No, but I heard it's like deserts and swords. Is that true?
It's Star Wars in the sand.
Okay.
But like, and I'm sitting there and I'm like, now that I know there was a book. I didn't research this topic too well, but it was taken off a book. I don't know if the book was written before Star Wars or after Star Wars, because there's such a similar story that it was so annoying to watch. You're just like, this is Luke Skywalker.
Was there a Yoda or a Chewbacca?
Yeah, but instead of like creatures like that, they're just people in those forms. Boy. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I kind of liked it, but I was, it's hard to talk if the person didn't see it. But
it's a remake, right?
Yeah, I thought I saw the movie when I was younger, but apparently I didn't, because I didn't know any of what the fuck happened. So I was like, this is like me going in cold. And first off,
I get to the Earth. Like, are they like from Earth?
No, they're on some sand planet with these big ass sandworms that can like suck.
Yeah, we call that tremors.
Tremors, yes.
So it's tremors with swords. I could get into that.
Angelique said she hasn't seen any of them. Good. You know what? It wasn't terrible. You know what I hated about it was that they knew they were going for the sequel, and so that it just kind of ended like on a cliffhanger, Like
Yeah, that
they
bugged me.
ended at the start of the journey, like almost like the start of the interesting journey. Like it was a
That's
2
like
hours of setup, which was annoying the shit out of me.
that's like if this weekend when we were at the Church of Satire, where if you only did premises, and you're like, when I come back in 2022, we'll do the punchlines. Like, I want a movie that's self-contained. I don't care if it's if there is going to be a sequel. I think you need to tie it in. I definitely get annoyed. I'm getting older where I'm like, I spent money on this and time. It better be a package.
Yeah, I don't know. It was the annoying part too is I went to a matinee so I could stay away from people. And
Took
it's,
a nap.
one of those ones where you take a nap. Yeah, you got to get the nice comfortable chairs because the movie sucks and you got a nice heated chair, relax, and you can just take a nice nap. So you pick where you're gonna sit on the screen. Now when I got there, I'm the only one there, right? So
That's pressure. I don't like that.
but I picked this nice spot right in the middle, but like not where everybody else goes. It was the back of the front, and then they had a big aisle, and then that. This kid and his mother come and sit in the seats right next to me. I go, you saw the X on the thing. Why would, or like the whole theater's empty. I know you may have technically picked those two, but why would you?
One over.
So the moment they sat down, I picked my stuff up and I walked away.
I hope there's security footage of that. They're like, because everyone's watching it like, yeah, those two people are lunatics. That's weird.
I should have said out loud, why, as I walk away, because it was just.
But then I think it's shitty because you're like, now you got to move. Like that's people are weird.
Dude, I've successfully not gotten sick, not just COVID, any cold since 2019.
I don't care if there was no disease ever. I don't want to sit next to a random.
Yeah, that's like the guy that comes up to the urinal next to you when there's a bunch of free ones available.
Well, that's just people being social. I like making friends. But
not
in the
there.
movie...
I'm pretty social too, but that's not nice.
The one thing that COVID taught me is that I'm an introvert and I don't like people.
I knew that about you.
So like, what's that?
I sensed that about you way before COVID. You're an angry little man.
Well, everyone's like, you're bubbly, like outgoing, and I was like, I honestly don't like anyone.
No, I could tell it's a put on. The bubbly outgoing, it's like,
oh yeah,
definitely a put on. I'm like, this kid looks like he's in serious mental anguish.
There's nothing better than when we got back to the hotel and I just put in earbuds. You're like, can I watch TV? I was like, do whatever you need to. Like, I just zoned out. Like, yeah, the thing is, I love comedy, but I always feel weird after shows, like talking randomly to people. Like, hey,
audience members?
It's cold out, right? What's that?
You mean audience members?
Yeah, just anyone.
Yeah.
Like, thank God you were there and we were like talking. Because like when people come up, it's just like, I don't know. I think I'm still in a dark place mentally because COVID. So I could go down the rabbit hole, Joe. Let's change topics.
Yeah, I let Mike, aka Manny Kotz, crash in my hotel room, and there for the weekend. And I was trying to get a snoring sound to let the audience know what you sound like, but I couldn't find dying rhinoceros. And this is not a weight joke; it's a sound joke.
What's crazy is that was out of my butt. That wasn't even snores; those were farts.
Yeah.
So
hold that thought. I'll be right back. Hold up. My dog is annoying the shit out of me. Hold up.
Oh, I'll take the show. Anyway, so what happened was Joe is a headliner that is very particular. I was only allotted one pillow. I couldn't go to the bathroom in the room. And
what'd I miss?
I just said, I go, you're a diva on the road. I was allotted one pillow. I wasn't allowed to look it in his direction. You made me get changed in front of you, which I thought was weird.
Yeah.
But, also, you didn't wake me up in the morning, which was nice. I never understood, like, hey, let me wake you up. Do you want breakfast? It's like, if I wanted breakfast, I'd wake up. Nah,
dude, I ate breakfast peacefully by myself while you just fucking laugh. I mean, I know I snore, but that was fucking. I put my noise canceling earbuds in, and then I went to YouTube for for soothing sounds to fall asleep to, and your shit was ripping right through top.
I sound like Chewy.
And you did. Here's something Mike did. He tried using my toothpaste. But he's like, I have some toothpaste, but I don't want the tip. The reason why it skeeved me out is I don't want my toothpaste tube to be touching your fibers of your fucking toothbrush, because then
Here's
I'm gonna
the thing. I mean, we've all been there, and it's either that or I got stripper mouth. So you chose wisely.
I don't know. I thought it was gross.
And then we find out when we're going to check out, and they're like, we have free toothpaste.
Yeah.
Oh man! But we got to experience, the delicacies out there, like Buffalo Wild Wings. I mean, that's pretty Pennsylvania. Can't get those anywhere else in the country. So we got Buffalo Wild Wings, and
it's weird when an area though is not known for a specific type of food, because that's where you're like, yo, what do you guys eat around here? Like, what's your thing? Like, where do you go? And they're like,
Snacks.
Buffalo Wild Wings. You're like, there's not like a Tom's, Rib Shack or fucking nothing.
There was a Haas's, which I was like, we can't go there because Haas is like a hick buffet.
Okay.
And like, they just have like mac and cheese that's been sitting under that heater for 18 years. So
we should have went in just to see it. Just to see.
Once you go, you can't get back. It's like the Upside Down.
The Upside Down? What's the Upside Down?
Yeah, and Stranger Things. Like you come out, you have a camouflage hat on, you're just dipping.
Right. I only saw the first season of Stranger Things. I liked it, but I didn't love it.
But, I'm happy we got to hit up Wawa on the way home.
Bro, that was the highlight. No, it was a good weekend, though. It was good to be on the road with a pal. I wish it was a little warmer out so we weren't smoking cigars out front of the hotel. Like a bunch
we looked like we were in Cool Runnings. Like we were all bundled up.
We looked like we were homeless guys hanging out on the bench in front of the thing.
Yeah.
We're just talking comedy with these big cigars. Like, they're like, it looked like lunatics. We're talking, like, if anybody heard where I was talking, we're talking about the craft of comedy, like in sweatpants and.
The best part is like it's not full blown winter, so we didn't have winter jackets on. So we had like Paulie from Rocky's outfit, where it's like 18 layers. You had the beanie on, like it's definitely like I think homeless hits it on the head. And it what's crazy is it was, I don't know, maybe midnight, and I guess families were coming in late and like running in with their babies, and like we're like,
yeah, we got
you
these
ever get
big
asked at the comic strip?
Like, no fucking. The mothers are like holding their kids. We're like, sorry, lady, we didn't know.
Yeah, you're like, we should go over here. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
And the craziest part is the woman working. Like, I assume at the hotel overnight, there's only one person, and she was outside smoking. And people were like waiting inside. And we're like, hey, how are you? She's like, it's been a night. And we just stopped the conversation, and I was so happy that she didn't even say anything else. It was just over. I was like, okay. And then we stood 5 feet apart, both like, okay.
Yeah.
It was nice.
What about now this comedy club we were at? When you're walking back to the green room, there was a guy who makes swords and like sells swords and knives, and I don't even know how to describe these guys. They were like
school shooter vibe.
School shooter vibe. Like the owners of this, like we're talking like if you went to like a psychiatric hospital, and like you see a guy like walk, like you just picture like a person walking with like pajama pants on, but it's over their feet, and then just like drooling.
I think he did have.
He had that sideways look like this. He was just looking at like. And then you had to like walk past, like if you wanted to go to the club, then come back, you had to go past these guys. And you're like, not only do they look like they're on some, oh, there they are. If you're watching on YouTube or Facebook, that's the room to get to the green room. Looks like a Cobra Kai dojo with swords. And,
but there was like I'm from Pennsylvania, so like the knives, there was like knife displays. But then it got into like there was like samurai swords, and then like players' choice swords where I don't even know where they're from. like Lord of the Rings or something, like big, wide, role-playing swords. But like, there's no purpose for them. But I mean, there's a whole store there, so I mean, good for him.
But like when you were on stage, everyone else in the club, I wanted to come out. I came out to take a picture of you, like on stage, and then I had to come back myself, and I'm like, these people, like I just had this awful, cringy feeling of them just like grabbing, just like slicing my throat, and then you guys are bringing me up on stage like Joe Fernandes, and I'm just
they never talked, and literally when you would walk by, everyone would stop talking and they'd go.
They were dead in their eyes.
Yeah,
it was like, that shit. That because I remember before I let Mike's crash in my room. They're like, your opener, he can crash at the comedy club if he wants on the couch in the green room.
Life.
And
my
I was
kids,
I'm thinking, I'm like, could you imagine sleeping there with those people having a key to the place with swords?
I would have slept in my car. Well, I mean, I don't know if it's safer. It might have been safer to sleep in the room with swords.
Yeah, I guess you could always grab a sword off the wall and defend yourself. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean,
Dom Cacciatore, swordsman.
I don't know if they have a school, because there was like wooden swords there for like practice.
Well, if those guys are teaching school, I need to see that video, because these guys look like they're got heroin nod, like as their natural state. Like they didn't seem high; they seemed like this is how they are all the time. Because he had the one woman; it wasn't his mother. I think it was just like a woman, like walking him almost, like that's how fucked up he was. He
He definitely had a bad drug experience, and he was like borderline vegetable. Like, not to be frank, but this dude was rough. But he's on the up. He's making swords. It's probably on Etsy.
It's probably a big sword area. I would imagine most men out there.
Like big sword. I mean, there's no place to eat, but they have swords if you need them.
But like, if you like, we drove around that area for a few hours. It's like I could picture most of the men at least having one sword.
Well, the thing is, a lot of the people around there, due to background checks, cannot own guns. But swords, I mean, those are just fair game. I mean, we've all seen Robin Hood.
Yeah.
They might have been fans of Dune. You should have had them on the podcast.
See, I should have got their card. Be like, crazy sword guy.
So what'd you like about Dune?
What kind of swords do you like to make? All right.
His
Swordsman
should have been called Connoisseur.
Ooh.
Like a connoisseur, but sword.
Oh, I heard that.
Hello.
Hello. Dude, I was reading in this news article. You're on TikTok, right? Do you do a lot of TikToking? Do you make TikToks?
I do, but I'm not one of those people where it's quantity. I don't just, I got to put this on TikTok. I like to think it out. I'm kind of in the middle generation where like I don't need to rent a film camera to put out projects, but I also, TikTok isn't, I'm not going to be like, hey, I'm farting on camera.
I only seem to, I did it early on in the pandemic. I was just partaking in it because everybody else was. Then I gave it up.
You got dance moves, man.
Dance moves. Then my niece, anytime at any party, she grabs my phone and we have to do a dance. And it's cute. You know what I mean? You're like, whatever. Yeah. But I saw this article today. Let me see if I can bring it up for you.
I mean, every day now people are saying kids are lazy, but if this is getting them to dance, I mean, why not?
Yeah. I don't know why I don't have you on the screen. I have some other. Right, there you are. You're back now. I was trying to do something. I could show you the article here. Do you see it?
Yeah, I see.
The high of becoming TikTok famous is killing millennials and Gen Zers. People are dying.
I thought butt chugging was where you put vodka up your butt.
Yeah.
And Molly.
Well, there's some interesting things people are doing. This guy, let me see. I don't know why. Hold up. Let me try and fix this. You're supposed to be up in this top thing over here, but
I
you're
look better
not.
like that. I like the silhouette.
I don't know.
You
I
know
don't
who
know.
that is? That's Dom Cacciatore over here.
Stop.
Hello.
I don't, I don't know why you should be in that square, but you're not.
Am I that ugly? You got a face for the avatar.
I don't know what the fuck I just did now.
You better get Dom Cacciatore up there. It's gonna be whoa.
Oh. All right.
If I'm not on screen, I can pick my nose. No one will know.
All right, there you are. But now I have 3 people up there. That shouldn't
That's
be.
Mike Gaffney. He's at C. Hey, Mike, how are you?
Oh my God. All right, I'm trying to get this to work properly, but it's not. All right, so we have this empty spot I can't get rid of because it should be Mike Gaffney. But see this guy right here on the screen?
Yeah.
He died doing what is it? Fishtailing stunts. He got thrown out of his window and the car flipped and crushed him.
Here's what I got to say about that. It's not TikTok because don't you remember like 10 or 15 years ago, MTV had that show about like hillbillies, and the same thing happened to the main character, and then the show just got canceled because they're like, they would just feed these kids in the boonies like liquor and be like, go shoot fireworks at each other and flip your trucks, and then one kid died.
Well, this
it's just
kid,
stupid people.
That is stupid people, but this says his name was Timbo the Redneck, and it says Timbo died with more. He had 2.5 million likes to his credit. That's part of the story.
And now they're gone.
All right, let's go to the what other people are.
He had 2.5 million likes. Did he have one seatbelt? Do we know?
Yeah. 18 years old.
He's the guy I was just describing. He has a camo hat and a dip in.
Yeah.
Did this happen in Hanover, Pennsylvania?
It happened in Florida.
He was going to get a world famous hot dog.
No shocker. It happened in Florida. All right, the next one. A growing number of them are suffering severe skull breaking injuries, and they're getting heart attacks from the dry scoop challenge.
Oh, is that where you take a scoop of like cinnamon?
No, they take a scoop. It's this OnlyFans star suffers a heart attack from dry scooping. So, you ingest a mound of undiluted supplemental energy powder.
And,
I
mean, when I was a kid,
she survived, but I think it's just to promote her OnlyFans. That's really what I think.
Did she do it on OnlyFans? Because I feel like she's doing it wrong. I feel like OnlyFans, you should be like playing with toys. I mean, I don't know.
And this kid died doing the blackout challenge.
That's offensive that you said that. That is offensive.
Well, no, but and then this guy got hurt with the milk crate challenge.
Yeah, that's stupid.
But people are dying for TikTok. And then this girl right here, it was called the Freckle Challenge. The Freckle Do-It-Yourself hack. She put needles in her face with ink, tattoo ink, and it wound up getting infected and causing that on her face.
I mean, freckles are cool and all, but I think they turn into cancer. So,
but the thing is it's not about. This is just stunts to get famous, so people are dying. Now, I was thinking back, we were doing dumb shit, but we didn't even have cell phones, so probably. Like
it was for your friends.
Like what were the things you did? Like we used to do the thing where we would breathe out and then a friend would hold our neck until we passed out.
You do this thing where you lean up against a wall and they push on you or something.
Yeah,
then
we could have died.
Me and my friends used to do this thing where we would drug each other and then take our pants off and go down on each other, and you had to guess who did it.
Well, that was a challenge we didn't get to. In my
spoiler alert, it was always me. No, we honestly,
I'm gonna loop that and send it to your dad.
The only thing I remember was Old Spice. Like Shaq was like, "You need Old Spice." After I play, it tingles. It's icy and hot, or icy hot, or whatever. Icy hot. That's what it was. And someone brought in a gym class. And he was like, everyone put icy hot on your balls. It will tingle. and a bunch of the kids. I was in like 8th grade or something. We all put it on our testicles, and it burned like so bad that like some of the kids were crying, and like the gym teacher was just laughing, like, screw you guys, like now you have to. So we all just ran into the bathrooms and like we're separately trying to like wash it off, and I think that's really kind of it. I mean,
But you probably
kids
only
are
did it
just stupid.
once, right?
Yeah,
But do you
and
think if you did it,
honestly,
you think if because you probably because you were with how many friends were with you when you did this?
he was in like a gym class, like, but only like the guys' gym class,
Who
so half
knew? How
half
many
a
knew?
class. It
Half
was
the
probably like
class.
6 people. Yeah, it's not
So
like
you
we
got
told
6 likes
everyone.
from that. So you're like,
Six
this ain't worth it. But do you
six
think?
likes.
I'm thinking if you had social media back then and you had like 200,000 likes, you think you'd be dropping aftershave on your testicles often?
Well, no, for me, it was never for everyone else. I was like, oh, this just, I kind of want to see what it feels like. So, like, I think nowadays people are like, well, I just want to, like, you see people that get famous on YouTube where they're like, I'm just going to chug bottles of liquor or I'm going to eat like light bulbs. I'm like, wait, what? Like, there comes a point where, like, I think there's a mental disorder where these people are mentally stunted.
But I don't know because here's my defense of them is at least they're doing it to become famous. We were doing it just because. Like, what's crazier? At least, like, there's an end game to what they're doing. Like, I can get famous, become an influencer, maybe make some money. Like, I had a friend, like, eating light bulbs, like, before it was, like, on TV shows. You know what I mean? Like, I,
Well, I
I
feel like Steve O's a good crossover because he was like he was doing it before and then saw like how popular it could get. And I think like you look at like Jackass and it's not as powerful anymore because there's 10-year-old kids doing that stuff online now, like on a
yeah.
random Friday. It's like,
Also,
let's put
yeah.
fireworks up our butt. I'm like, what? Didn't you ever
Yeah,
hear of
like,
like drinking in the woods?
but they were
Like,
doing
I don't
fireworks in the
understand.
butt when I was a kid. There was at least one guy that would, like, send like, a whistling bottle rocket out of his asshole.
Is that why you walk funny?
I didn't do it. I had a whole pack of those, what are they called? They look like firecrackers, but they spin around and make
Poppers?
color. They spin around and make colors. Yeah, no, I forget what the fuck are they called. They look. You know what I'm talking about?
No, I would light hot snakes. Just
Anyway,
the
a whole
ash.
pack burned in my hand and just gave me blisters all over my hand.
Ugh.
And that was the last time I did it. But if I was able to post it and get likes, I think I would have went for it
I
again.
think it's a lonely, slippery slope because everyone has that one friend they grew up with where you're like, you don't even know why you're friends with him, but it's like he'll do something stupid and everyone kind of laughs at him, and
Right.
that's like the adrenaline. And the kid knows that's his lifeline. He has nothing else in the group to offer, and he's like, well, I don't want to be left behind, so I'll do stupid stuff. Um, and unfortunately, there's kids with that same mentality, but it's on a bigger scale now. I don't know. I officially feel old talking about this because I'm like, it seems sad.
But my friends that all did that, like they all were successful guys later in life. I think because they're daring. Like we used to like hang on each other's like moon roofs when they were open and while they were flying down a highway and see how long we could stay on before we told them to slow down.
Yeah, I
Uh,
never did that. I mean, my dad was more daring than me. Like he would call a pizza delivery guy, and then they'd run around back when he came and like take his car, and
what?
like, yeah, or they would like we would have a 4th of July party every year. Like our whole town would pretty much be there. I came from a small Pennsylvania corn town, and like my parents would tie a wagon to a car, and like the dads would get whipped around the block.
Mm.
And this was earlier in the day. Like they weren't even drinking. Like there's just normal. There's the thing is, I think the common denominator is there's nothing to do in some parts of the country.
So you
You
gotta
know,
do. So I guess
if
the
you're from
parts of the
like,
country where there's shit to do, that's where you get the dancing TikTokers, and then.
yeah, or even, I mean, you
But
said
this
that one guy's
girl,
from Florida,
she's kind of pretty for the freckle challenge.
a social construct where
Yeah,
she's trying to, like, that's just a mishap.
yeah.
Whereas, like, I think women, yeah, they are self-destructive, where men are just destructive.
Oof, that looks like it hurts.
Oh God.
God.
She looks like she has acne.
TikTok has
But
definitely been the weirdest of
even
social
worse.
media. Like, I've been in with social media since I think like there was Live Journal was like the first one I was on.
Zanga.
Then you had the Friendster, and then the MySpace. Then we came over to Facebook,
I think
Instagram, and now this TikTok is definitely a lot weirder. There's definitely because it's like I could be scrolling and just get offered the strangest videos, but it's addicting.
But I think there's a lot of guidelines. I think it's a lot of disposable content. You go to Twitter now, and there's like girls spreading their butt cheeks, which I'm like, wait, when did this happen? Like I haven't been on Twitter in 5 years, and I went back in, and like, when you're not active, it's all bots that like
Yeah, what's who
send you
you're
friend
following? So you
requests.
must be following someone that spreads their butt cheeks because you don't just.
No, it was like because I wasn't on it for so long, I did accept all. Like, oh, okay,
Oh,
yeah, sure. I
gotcha.
don't know.
Yeah.
And it was through like it wasn't I don't have a personal Twitter. It was like through one of my comedy groups or something. And it was
Yeah.
old. So I was like, oh, whatever. And then all of a sudden I'm like, oh, wait. Like,
Mike acting like
there's
he
all
hates
these.
following girls that open their butthole. He's like, yeah, it's my business one. You know what I mean? Did he accept all?
Exactly.
I had a friend
Exactly.
do it. I mean, I was just sitting there looking for, articles about
It's not
science
my
and history,
VHS
and all of a
tape.
sudden,
I
boom, there's a
found
girl
this
with a
VHS
butthole.
tape.
Is what?
No, on Instagram, yeah, Instagram, all bets are off. But there's guidelines. You can't see certain things. Like everything's blurred. Where Twitter, like you could see like sex videos. You're like, what the fuck? Because I use
Yeah.
Twitter to watch things that are illegal. Like I watch UFC fights that I don't pay for.
Yeah.
Which cancel me now.
See, but Instagram's interesting because it's like the algorithm feeds you like your friends you interact with the most or the pages you interact with the most. TikTok, it kind of learns. It just kind of like I think it kind of learns and starts throwing things at you, and that's why like when my niece is like, "Let me see your TikTok," I'm like, "Hold on, let me get it ready for you," because TikTok's feeding me pizza, puppies, and Dominican women, and it's like. It's like it knows.
Is that
me.
what it is? Pizza, TikTok, and Dominican women?
Well, apparently that's the algorithm I'm stuck in. I don't know how.
That's a fun one to be stuck in.
It's like TikTok knows me better than I know myself.
Mine is a lot of like anti-religious rants.
Really?
It's always like hot moms where it's like, yeah, I'm a mom, and then they like snap their fingers and they're in like lingerie, and I'm like, okay.
So TikTok knows what you're into. So do you seek out religious rants?
No, but I mean, I'm like, oh, okay. What's weird is I've never seeked anything out on TikTok. I've never looked up anything or typed anything. But after using it since COVID, like I would say it has a 90% success rate with me.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, oh, okay, that's cool. Oh, that's cool. I mean, I respect a lot of the makeup tutorials, but they get old so fast. It's like you're Pennywise again. I get it. Come on.
You watching makeup tutorials?
Like horror makeup or special effects.
Oh,
so it will be like a
thought
really.
we learned a lot about Mikey today. Dom, what's his name? Dom Rigatoni. What's his name?
Dom Cacciatore. I learned how to do a smoky eye, and it starts with a nice bass. Hello. No, it will be like a girl who's like saying like Freddy Krueger lines, and then she goes, doo, doo, and then she's Freddy Krueger.
Oh yeah, those
like
are
the
cool.
Makeup.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, they only do the same like 3 characters. It's like Beetlejuice, Pennywise from It, or like something like Broken Jaw or like something. And I'm like, okay, you keep doing the same ones.
Yeah, they're smart at get like. There's like a girl that will come up and be like, they're smart at getting you to like get into your algorithm because like you get a girl come up and be like, guess my age. People can never guess my age, and then it says like 51, but they look like they're like 30, and you're like, no way. But no, what it does, it makes you go to their page. You're like, let me see this.
That is
There's
true.
no way.
I've seen almost the opposite, where it's like I was born in 1989, and the woman looks like she's 50.
Did you ever see the one? It's like this, like almost like a meth head. She has like no teeth and looks really ragged. And then she does
know what you're gonna say.
the time lapse of her putting on the makeup and going out for the night, and she's gorgeous. And you're just like,
Yeah,
Yuckaroo there, bud.
yeah,
Yuck. I
yeah.
mean,
I've seen that one exactly.
that is rough. That's got to make any single guy out there like question and be like, if you meet a girl like that at the bar, be like, okay, but let me
Let me see your
hose you
TikTok.
down first before we get in my house. I got to shoot
Well,
her with a super soaker. Be like, let's see what's under there.
the one thing I really enjoy online are things that I know nothing about. So, like the one TikTok I follow is someone that he cleans and trims horse hooves.
Horse hooves?
Hooves, like,
Oh,
and it's honestly
I thought
like
that was like a word for like a.
I don't
Is
know.
this a
Oh
Pennsylvania word for horse dick?
no, that's just no. I wish.
So he cleans
No,
horse hooves on TikTok?
yeah. So he scrapes the dirt, then he clips it, he cuts it back, sands it,
Is it
then
like an
puts a new
ASMR
horseshoe
thing?
on. No, there's or like people that like can make stuff that I can't make. Like I watch a lot of TikTok where it's like, today I got leftover wood in my shed. I'm gonna make a table. And they just walk you through it. I just feel like I'm really obsessed with people building stuff. I love like people making fires or cool fire pits or like pizza ovens or
Yeah.
working with like stucco or clay. And I'll
We're
just
on
go down
such a
that rabbit
different
hole.
algorithm. It's crazy.
Well, I feel like I'm learning. It's
Yeah.
like,
Nah, I'm not. Well, me and some of my buddies, my podcast co-hosts, so we'll send pictures of like videos of, like beautiful women to each other, but we
yeah,
talk about anything else that's in the frame. Be like, dude, look at the embroidery on that couch.
that's great.
But
Well, that's,
I can't send those to you because you got married with children and stuff. I need you got to stay with your stucco and your fire pits and your makeup tutorials.
oh, I don't care. The TikTok is fun for that stuff. Like what's funny is my grandpa just started online dating and he will pick apart the pictures where like he'll be like, "Oh, well, I don't like the blinds in her house," and I'm like, I don't know what to tell you. And he'll like be like, I forget what he said. Like, if she doesn't have any property value, then I can't value her. He
I
like
get it,
related it.
man, because he's older. That shit matters, man.
Yeah.
Like I'm in my 40s. I'm not single, but I could imagine if I was, I'd be like, I really got to see. Yeah, like those things
No,
matter.
I would say it's the opposite. When he's in his 80s, it's like I'm just looking, to hook up or go see movies together. Meanwhile, he's so picky. He's like, "Oh, I don't like the it literally the one was the curtains in the back." Like he's like, I don't like her style." I'm like,
Yeah,
"Okay."
curtains is a little picky, but
Yeah. He didn't even mention her. Like it's like he didn't know she was even there.
so your grandpa's on the scene. How long has he been on
Oh
the
yeah.
single scene?
Since I've been alive.
Oh, he's been
Him and
single your whole life. Your dad just out there dogging it.
my grandpa.
Oh,
Yeah.
your grandpa. I mean, your grandpa's out there
Yeah,
dogging
yeah,
it.
yeah. Yeah. He's trying. He's gotten the
You've
clap
been
a
alive a
couple
long
times.
time. Has he been succeeding?
There was a part in high school when he was dating this woman who used to around Christmas buy us like FUBU sweatshirts. And then she was my mom's age though, so it was weird. And she would try to kiss you on the mouth, like hello. And she would always smoke cigarettes and wear really short shorts and like cork high heels. And she'd be like, "Happy birthday, Michael." And she bought me a like mesh tank top once when I was like 17.
A mesh
Like
tank top.
80s, like you could see nipples. And I think I tried it on and alone and like just me and my brother. Because I have an older brother and we would get matching outfits. He was only with this woman for like 2 or 3 years, but those Christmases were hysterical. The one year she got us matching FUBU sweaters, and then the next year she got us mesh tank tops that were cut off. Like it was like above your belly button.
Oh, the half shirt. Like that's like real
The half
80s.
shirt. Mine was red
Mesh
and my
half
brother's was
shirt.
blue. A mesh half shirt. And I'm talking big mesh, not like basketball jersey. It was like you're supposed to wear something under it, definitely. Or you're a pervert.
What's your grandpa's name?
Bob.
Bob.
Yeah, Captain Bob.
Bob is a
That's his
dirty guy.
dating
He's
profile.
he's dating some classy broads back then.
I think his name is Captain Bob 69.
Really? Captain
swear.
Bob 69?
And he didn't
I want to
realize
meet like this guy's how like I know you started doing jokes about it. do a joke about I feel like this should have been a well of material for you. You have this grandpa that's out there playing the field, hooking up with ladies that are bringing home mesh half T-shirts for the grandkids.
Well, it's hard to get new material with him because every time you see him, he uses the N-word a lot. And
yeah, but you got to ignore that. There's got to be deeper stories.
And he'll start yelling at people like he's unhinged. Yeah. And like he'll talk about like all these chicks he used to bang, but we're like, you were with grandma then. He's like, yeah, I'm not the perfect guy.
Dude, I got to get him on the podcast.
Oh my God. He wouldn't know how to get on. Dude, it took me like 8 years to get him a laptop. And I was like, because he loves porn and he has all these cassettes, but then now you can't really buy a VCR player. It's more expensive. So he was complaining. I was like, well, for Christmas, me and my brother will get you a laptop. And he's like, no, I don't trust the internet. There's viruses. And I was like, no, like, you're not downloading it. Like, you could just go to a porn website. And he didn't trust us. And then he found out what Craigslist was. And he's been housing, like, meth addicts that will go down on him. So.
The hell? Why are we saving this for the end of the podcast? I can't believe we didn't bring this up at the beginning. You have a grandpa that houses meth addicts. Oh, my God. Yeah. I want to meet your grandpa. Can I come to a family barbecue or something? Can we invite him out here to smoke cigars with us?
Yeah.
This is what we'll do. Too. We're going to invite Grandpa Bob out.
Captain Bob.
We're going to set up podcasting microphones. We're going to set up some cameras.
You're going to get canceled.
We're not going to go live. We're not going to go live. We're going to cut out any racial thing. We're going to cut out. It's going to be edited. But I need this guy's stories.
No, dude, we were like I feel uncomfortable when the kids are around, like because my oldest son's 8 and his big thing right now is he wants to travel when he's older, and he's like, I want to go to France. And Captain Bob was like, what are you, a F word for derogatory against gay people? And Vinny's like, what does that mean? And I was like, all right, we gotta go. Like, this is too much.
Is this your mom's dad?
Yeah.
Ugh.
So
what does she think?
The holidays are always great. I mean, there's enough hatred and racism there to just.
But are they just like when he talks about? Is he like, it's just daddy? That's just.
It used to be, but now that he's older, it's more extreme. Where like we'll be like, "Hey, Merry Christmas," and he's like, "Fucking immigrants are storming the country." It's like, okay, all right.
Oh God.
Like it's not even like a topic came up. He just goes full swing into senile racism.
Listen, I'm telling you. I wish my two grandparents, because my Italian grandpa and my Portuguese grandpa were total polar opposite people, but I really wish podcasting was bigger back when they were alive and I had these interviews, because we have to do this.
All right, we'll set it up.
If anything, it's going to be the foundation of a movie character we're going to write. I mean, this guy just sounds like a boatload of material.
Dude, he's very honest and candid, but the thing is, I've interviewed him twice just for the hell of it. I set up a camera and asked him questions, but it can't go anywhere because he goes off the rails.
Yeah.
Like, it's not even that he has no filter. It's like he's uncivilized.
Dude, you're just selling me more. Like all these things you're doing to like deflect from doing this interview, you're just like selling me more. I want an uncivilized, unhinged guy. I'll edit it. I'm not going to make it look. I'm not going to put out racist stuff, but I need to meet him.
We'll have a conversation with him. Ask him how he feels about interracial dating right off the bat. That'll be fun.
No, we'll try and steer it from race. I just want to be more about his sexual exploits and being a single guy for most of his life, and women that will bring mesh half shirts to the grandkids. I mean, like,
what's funny is he
everything about him,
like So him and my grandmother lived in the same house and slept in the same bed for 20 years, but were not married. They were divorced.
I've seen that before.
So, when I was born, they were already divorced. But the first couple of years of my life, I'd be like, oh, we're going to grandma and grandpa's. And then one day they're like, they're not actually married. And he's going to move out. But they They slept in the same bed for like 20 years, even though they were divorced. I'm like, that seems miserable.
I dated a girl like that in my 20s. Like her parents were there, her mom and dad, and they just looked like a miserable couple. So I'm just sitting there one day, like watching football with her brother, and the mom comes in, like making out. Like the dad used to just sit at like the dining room table and just smoke cigarettes and like stare. You know, he's like one of those guys. So one day I see the mom come in with another guy making out with him, and then just like goes off into a room, and I'm like, I was like,
well, this wasn't even
that?
like
she
that.
She's like, nah, they just don't like each other, but neither one of them wants to go through the money of divorcing, so they just date other people. And I'm like, yo, this is great. I just back then it was like nothing I've ever seen before.
Well, they weren't even dating other people. Like it wasn't like they're like they would like drive together to our house and like hold hands and stuff. Like I don't know. We got to get them on your podcast.
Dude, I really do. I want to get them, even if we don't have video, just audio. Bring the Zoom out there and just, I don't know. I like interviewing, like, because what I like about older people like that, especially he's already a guy that's like off the rails, but like as you get older, you don't give a crap and you just say anything. So yes, we're probably gonna get some awful stuff that we wouldn't want aired, but there's gotta be diamonds in there.
Well, he got pulled over once for speeding. And he fought the ticket and drew a picture of the speedometer and put where the limit was. And he's like, that's where I was. Look, it's right here. And they're like, you drew that. And he's like, yeah, I know, but that's the speed limit I was going. They're like, no, you're getting your ticket, dude. And now you have to pay for these court fees. And he was like, you cocksuckers. Like he goes right off the rails.
And maybe there must have been a time in his life where that worked once.
He's legally not allowed to drive through New York anymore. He was born and raised in Queens, but now lives in Pennsylvania near my parents. And when I was growing up, he was our pool boy. And you know, over the summers, like I would work later in the day, and he was always around, and he would just tell me these crazy stories. He would be a great podcast guest.
We're gonna do it. We're gonna get it. We're gonna wrap up this podcast because it seems like you just did one of these. But no, I want to get your grandpa on the podcast for sure. Even if we just make a one episode podcast with.
But can we do a dating episode where we maybe get him a date?
Yes, dude. Anything like that. Let's. I just want if this is just a
69.
one-off YouTube video.
Okay,
like
I'm
that's
down.
not even a part
Comedians
of
in hot cars.
Yeah, let's do something like that, but with your grandpa with.
No, he would probably die.
I mean,
so let me tell you one quick story.
Yeah.
So last year Christmas, my brother brought his girlfriend for the first year, and 10 minutes into the conversation, my grandfather's talking about how he cleans his uncircumcised penis.
Christmas.
Yeah.
I gotta meet this guy.
Nice to meet you. So yeah, you know, there's just a little. You gotta clean it out. That's the character. He's like,
Does he do that? Is that where you got this character from? Is that who he is?
He's a big animal lover. Where he's like, what we have to do is get your dog there, and make him at ease, and he'll be like, all right. Like if you go out to dinner, and you know, if you're like, oh, I'll take a beer, they give you a bottle of beer. He gets mad. He goes, really? I don't want it in a bottle. Put it in a glass. And she's like, oh, it's a bottle. I didn't know. Like, I drink out of a bottle. He goes, that's because you're a slob. And we're all just like.
Does your wife like him?
No.
I couldn't imagine.
No. Because, like, when she was pregnant, he's like, you look like shit.
Really?
Yeah. He'd be like, oh, what happened? You look pale. Or like, yeah, like, you know, naturally your boobs get bigger. He would make a comment like, I got coffee. You got any milk? Like, he's just like that guy. He's a toolbox.
I want to meet him. We have to make
if he's not in your family, it's like, you would definitely, I could see him getting decked, you know, or slapped. The amount of times he probably got slapped. And that's the thing. He used to be a really successful businessman. I think what happened was he had the money to be that guy. And then he still thinks he's that guy, but now he's 80-year-old living in a trailer park. But he used to be like a millionaire.
And what happened?
He's bad with money.
Oh, all right. Well,
he would buy.
It was good enough money to become a millionaire. Can't be.
No, he had a couple of successful businesses, and like then he just bought a ton. He always had like motorcycles and stuff. Like he when I was young, he was awesome because like he was very present. Like we would have like water fights and stuff. But then he just started getting overly angry about stuff. You can't get him off a rant. That's the problem.
That's perfect. That's what you need for podcasting. That's a good podcasting guest. You go, and then they rant.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
He voted for Obama. I mean, that's the thing. And he off about that. Like, you know, I knew this one guy once. He was black, but he was okay. I'm like, okay, let's here we go.
There we go. Your internet's getting shittier by the minute, so we're gonna end this podcast. Mike, thanks for coming on, bro. Tell people promote yourself. What you got going on?
No problem. Go to MikeCelonaComedy.com. I got a couple of dates coming up in New Jersey, and Friday, December 3rd, I'll be next in Pennsylvania. And then also check out Mike's Mike, which is available now on all streaming platforms. It's about the industry. There's entertaining stories, never before heard, like behind the scenes stuff, and fun interviews with Joe Fernandes.
Yes, I'm on the latest episode. Apparently, it's doing well. So, everybody, thanks for checking it out. Hopefully, I think Mike Gaffney will be back maybe in a week or two. I'll just be having these our guest friends on. Please go to youtube.com/Joe Fernandes to subscribe. I'm currently at 666 subscribers, so it's kind of devilish. So someone at least go over there and make me 667 so I could just feel a little bit better about my YouTube channel. I'll give you more updates on I Don't Know Joe show. We're almost done shooting. Have 2 more episodes to go. Then we'll finish editing and then hopefully get it out to you people. Go to Instagram, Joe Fernandes. Go follow my co-host Mike Gaffney at Mike Gaffney Now. And you've been listening to All in Our Heads.